He arrived in the early hours one Saturday morning, and then he stayed. He didn't bring any luggage or possessions, but he moved in. Does it count as subletting if they don't pay any rent? He just slipped into my flat, and as far as I can tell, he has never left, not even once. When he arrived that first night, it was as if the air itself tried to flee from him. It was the change in the atmosphere, a sudden drop, that woke me up. I could feel a sort of breeze whipping past me in fear as it pulled the oxygen from my lungs in streams. I was scared of him too, at first. I'd hide under the covers and scream at him to leave me alone. I'd emerge, shaking and crying and snotty, and he'd still be there, unflinching. Perhaps in a different corner, perhaps a little closer. All night I felt his piercing eyes on my bed. I felt like a caged animal at the zoo, the least interesting reptile in the reptile room, being ogled by a bored child. But as time went on, the mood shifted. Someone once told me that if you see a ghost, you should speak to it, let it know you're comfortable with its presence. Establishing boundaries is important in any relationship. And once I started to talk, the words never stopped. Now the air wasn't bending around him trying to flee, it was being pulled into him, and slowly, like an anchor being dragged from the seafloor, his orbit pulled new things from me, and the words flowed on. He doesn't make a sound. I barely see him move. Sometimes I think he seems coiled up like a spring, but the next second I look at him and he seems so content, so peaceful. He's like a cat. The cat loves him, by the way. Sometimes in the morning he feeds her, and if he has time he feeds me too. And sometimes I find dinner on the table when I get home. He only comes at night, but I see him throughout the day, moving through the shadows, or knocking out a tune in the pipes. His favourite is the Wallace and Gromit theme tune. But he comes alive in the dark. When the sun dips below the buildings and the starlings swarm overhead, I can feel his presence shift, and suddenly I feel calmer. I can feel him as soon as I walk through my front door, but he's different somehow, out in the open. He must have lived in the shadows for so long. In a way, I'm proud of him. I'm looking forward to winter because we'll get to spend more time together. So to say he doesn't pay rent, that's not strictly true. He pays me in time, attention. He's also a good listener, though he doesn't seem to have any ears. In the day I can feel him hover just outside my vision, and at night he never looks bored to me. His features never changed, his eyes and mouth always twisted and pulled into that expression of absolute focus and resolve. The longer he stays, the more I struggle to remember the time before he was here. Like trying to remember a nightmare from your childhood. I used to be so scared of people breaking into my house. But now I can't imagine why I was so scared. I'm thinking of asking him out of the flat, I mean. Maybe we'll go down to the beach and get strawberry ice cream and watch the waves roll in. Feel the sun on our skin and laugh at the tourists being attacked by the seagulls. I suppose the first time we go we'll have to go late at night. So maybe we'll have to take our own ice cream. But then we can work our way up to an early morning swim. Maybe. One day.